Hello, this recording is going to cover the argumentative essay. As can be seen on the website, if you've read the essay, you should be able to get a basic understanding. In this piece, I'm going to just cover the organization. If we look here in the beginning, we see a very general statement. It's typical that people write and they begin with a general statement here, such as the issue of whether we should allow marine parks to stay open has been widely debated in our community recently. It's a very general idea. This is followed by more specific information. So here it talks about fundamental moral and economic questions. Following this line, we get a more deeper point about different arguments have been put forth. This tells the reader, when I say different arguments, that this is going to be an argumentative essay. And then more specifically, the real controlling point in this is it will say this essay will consider arguments for having marine parks and point to some of the problems with these. And then finally, it makes it very, very clear to the reader that this is an argumentative essay and that this person is against having marine animals in captivity. We call this a funnel structure. It looks like a funnel, like when you're pouring water into a bottle and you use a funnel to direct the water. It tells the reader, it moves the reader from general information to very specific information. And it's very common to use this structure. The next part, we can see, begins with a counter-argument. Many times writers will begin with a topic sentence and actually say they'll say their viewpoint right away. So they might say this idea in the beginning. But in this particular organization structure, I'm beginning with the counter-argument, followed by the refutation, which is the response to this, and then finally the author of this article, their argument. This structure can be seen, again, repeating. Once you begin with one structure, it's helpful for the reader to follow in the same structure. So counter-argument, refutation, then your argument, and then again counter-argument, refutation, and then your argument. And then finally we move into the actual conclusion. The conclusion summarizes information. Here's the general statement that they're trying to make. Then we get several statements which summarizes the material from the body. And then finally, thus, or in conclusion, a restatement of the argument, of the overall argument, followed by final words. So that's the general structure. We can see it here laid out as well. We have an introduction, we have a general comment, we explain the general comment, then we go into a problem, and then we get an argumentative stance, a specific opinion, and then maybe an outline or some other statement. The body is very regular in terms of structure, and that's because you want the reader to be able to understand what it is you're talking about. You don't want to change the structure. Once you have established it in the body in the first paragraph, you don't want to switch. And then the conclusion, you can restate your viewpoints, you can give a general arguments, and then some sort of recommendation. This is the general pattern for the way these essays are put together. And I say general because there are other organizational structures as well, and I'll cover those in class or on further videos. Something else to be pointed out is the use of language. There's some highlighted parts here: argued, claimed, and then the word that. These are examples of reporting verbs. It's very common in academic works to have reporting verbs: argued that, claim that, as opposed to here where it says Smith states that. You can say states that, but here it's not actually, you're not actually getting something here. We say again, contends that, argues that, asserts that. So very common to have what are referred to as reporting verbs, and one would expect to have in your writing to have examples of that as well. References are placed. We have last name followed by first initial, date, the name of the book, in this case it's a book, place of publication, and the publisher. Here's information as well as on an online source, and and here we have Smith. And in each of these, it's being listed alphabetical, so typically it runs alphabetically. Here's the name of the site. Here's again the name of a site, and telling us something else, when the information was accessed. Very important. The references are there to help the reader so that they can go back and examine the material themselves to see whether or not it's actually accurate or something that they want to use at a later date. So hopefully this video has been helpful, and thank you for watching.